During World War II, the Ten Boom family saved hundreds of Jews and resistance fighters in the Nazi-occupied Netherlands. Many books have been written about Corrie Ten Boom and her family's courage. The latest book is called The Watchmaker's Daughter, and it reads like an action thriller. CBN's Jenna Browder spoke with the author about Corrie's remarkable heroism and her extraordinary faith.
During World War II, it's estimated Corrie Ten Boom saved the lives of some 800 Jews and resistance workers, many of them staying with her and her family in their watch shop and home. Their lives were on the line every day, and that's the tension and drama captured on these pages.
It's all true, but it's structured exactly like a thriller, with cliffhangers, with misdirection, with missing information.
The Watchmaker's Daughter by Larry Loftus, a nonfiction thriller that tells the story of Corrie, her family, and their remarkable resistance against the Nazis.
The Gestapo is after everybody. They're after the Jews, they're after the Dutch divers, they're after the Dutch resistance, all the people that are helping them. They're crashing down doors in the middle of the night.
Loftus, who spent days digging through the Ten Boom archives at Wheaton College, includes the story of one particularly tense lunch. Jews and resistance workers all gathered around the table when someone appears at the window.
And they're like, what? And one of the resistance guys there says, okay, nobody move, but there's a guy peering through the window who's sort of cleaning the window, but he's looking through the curtains. And Betsy, Corrie's sister, says, well, I didn't order the windows cleaned. And then someone else says, there's no ledge. There's no ledge on this. How is he looking at it? There's no ledge. And the resistance guy says, he's on a ladder. And so everybody's like frozen. And so one of the key people in the story, Yussi, who is a Jew, says, okay, look, everybody just continue on like normal. In a few minutes, we're going to sing happy birthday.
Just part of everyday life, although getting caught could be a capital offense, punishable by death.
So that kind of drama, that kind of tension is throughout the story. So it could be a German military truck that parks right in front of their house one night. And they're like, everybody rushes into the hiding place. And so it's just on and on.
A young Dutchman named Hans Polly brought the family into the resistance. He was hiding with the Ten Booms, a so-called Dutch diver. When Corrie found out he was part of the resistance, she wanted to help.
Let's use the house as the headquarters. So you feel free. Tell me what I need to do, and we'll use this as our headquarters.
So the Ten Booms hired an architect to build a hiding place behind a secret wall. When the Germans would come by to sweep the home and watch shop, that's where the Jews and Dutch divers would hide. Throughout it all, deep Christian faith served as the Ten Booms' motivation, starting with Corrie's father.
Casper, who was Corrie's father, was an absolute spiritual giant. And he was a giant because his father was Corrie's grandfather, and then the great-grandfather.
And it was their faith that led them to love the Jewish people.
He was really gentle and just loved people. And so he would see the German police arresting somebody, and Corrie's like, oh, those poor people. And Casper's like, yeah, they touched the apple of God's eye. And she's like, what? He's worried about the Germans, how messed up they are spiritually, that they're spiritually barren. And that's just him.
Loftus says Corrie's life can be summed up by the Reformation Creed. After darkness, light.
She went through absolute darkness, absolute hell, as did Casper, as did Betsy, as did Willem, as did the other people in the story. They're all in concentration camps or prisons. But she always, the whole family, they found light.
And without giving too much away, by the end of the war, there was a lot Corrie could be angry about. But instead of resentment, she chose grace. And that became another part of her incredible legacy. It's all included in the book. Jenna Browder, CBN News.
And that grace was evident. It was on her anointing for grace, for forgiveness. Absolutely unforgettable. I had the enormous privilege of meeting her back in the 1970s. She appeared on this show, the 700 Club, back then, and it was what a spiritual giant. But the grace and the peace and the anointing of her was tangible to everyone who ever came around her. Absolutely incredible woman. In the days that we're living in now, we need that grace and we need that forgiveness, and we need to walk in the abundance of love, knowing that God has shed that love into our hearts, and let the love of Christ compel us. It's the only answer for the world today, just as it was the only answer back in World War II. So I encourage you to get this. It'll inspire you. The book is called The Watchmaker's Daughter, and it's available nationwide.